guys hear me there at the back? With a wave? Lovely. You can hear me there. Okay, to the left. Please indulge us. Hello. To the left. I see you, but a lot of people are still having conversations on the left. Am I too loud? Because you're like blocking your ear. Hello everyone. Dumelang. Jumbo, Sanbonani, Lekai. Hello. Hello. Thank you. I think we're getting there now. Welcome everyone. My name is Clement Manyatela. I am a radio and television broadcaster. And no, I don't do the interesting stuff that is fun and top billing like. I do the boring stuff, but that's also impactful. That's also meaningful journalism. And I'm really honored to be here. I am trying to speak so I can get the attention of the people from the left, because I can see the people on the right are now listening attentively. Or maybe we can get people who are getting food to try and keep it low. Wonderful. Are they taking it down? Yeah. So we're trying to start with the official program so we can quickly move with it, and then we can have some food and we can have some drinks and we can have the conversations. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. I know that a lot of you are hungry. I'm aware that a lot of you are coming from Robben Island. You were stuck there for some time and there were logistical challenges for 47 years. Jeez. But we're happy that you are here. We're happy that you're here. And I am happy to be here. It's Africa Day. And a lot of you, some of you that managed to go and change, you are clad in your African regalia. I decided to wear Basotho. I'm not a Mosotho, Kimupedi. There's another Basotho. Hello. Lekai. Ruting. So, I'm really excited to be here today on Africa Day, because this is such an important day. It's not just a day about commemorating the founding in 1963 of the Organization of African Unity and looking at the successes or lack thereof of this useful or useless organization, but it's an occasion to reflect on our collective responsibility, right? Our collective responsibility to further the cause of unity and freedom on the continent. But Africa will not be free, and I'm sure you know this, until its people are free and until the LGBTQI plus persons are allowed to live their lives freely. And this is actually a promise that is there in the Charter on Human People's Rights. The very idea that human rights belong to all of us by virtue of us being human, and not because of the color of your skin or because of your gender or because of your sexuality. So on this Africa Day, beautiful people, I want to urge you to be reminded of the aspiration of an Africa that is free from violence, that is free from discrimination, and also reflect on the contribution as individuals, also as a collective, that we can make towards that aspiration. And I'm excited to be here because, the Gerald Kraak Prize, when I was invited, I was like, yes, and I want to attend Kopano. I don't want to just come to MC the program on the 25th. I wanted to be part of the sessions, and I'm so excited that I'm going to start being part of the sessions on Thursdays and Friday. And we are going to be announcing the winners today, which I know you're looking forward to. I think there are about a number of people that have been shortlisted. The Gerald Kraak anthology with essays from the people that have contributed from all across the continent will be published and be launched at a later stage. I know you're also looking forward to that. I want to now bring in the CEO of the other foundation who will be welcoming us here, Neville Gabriel, who will then introduce our keynote speaker, Auslebo Mashile, and I know you're looking forward to Wanda Baloyi. I got here earlier. Woo! Right? Looking forward to that. Wanda Baloyi was performing here earlier. Well, she was, doing rehearsals, but she was incredible. So she will be giving us some performances as well. But let's start with the welcoming address. So Neville, please.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Are you well? Are you out of jail? I need to tell you something really, really important. So I'd like you to please listen to this because it matters a whole lot to all of us. This Gerald Kraak Prize event the prize is for African perspectives, African writings, African photography, African poetry on gender, social justice, and sexuality. We initiated this prize because we believe firmly that we need to, as African LGBTI organizations, artists, activists, we need to make sure that we develop a new African narrative on African queerness. And we believe it's of critical importance that we do this so that our voice is authentic, that it's bold, that it's creative, and that it's based on our real experiences where we are and as we are. And so the Gerald Kraak Prize is meant to encourage writing and photography and poetry. It's meant to encourage voice that has an influence in the world that positions an African narrative. And we are particularly proud that this time the Gerald Kraak Prize is being presented during Kopano with all of you gathered together at Kopano. It really means a whole lot to us, and I can feel the excitement, I can feel the energy. The prize is Africa-wide, meaning that we issue a call for submissions and that entrants from anywhere in Africa can submit entries. Gerald Kraak is a founding figure for the Other Foundation. Gerald's life was all about struggle for freedom, for equality, for social justice as a gay man, but also for many other struggles for equality and justice. Gerald passed away just before the Other Foundation became operational. And so we initiated this prize in honor of Gerald. And I want to pay tribute to him. We miss him, but I know, and I've received many messages over the past few days to say that Gerald would be incredibly proud, particularly today, to see all of you gathered for this event. And I pay honor to him for that legacy. We are also very proud to run the Gerald Kraak Prize and to publish the Gerald Kraak Anthology with Jacana Media, the Jacana Literary Foundation, whose head, Bridget Impey, is here today, and we really love that partnership. Thank you, Bridget. And please thank your partner, Maggie Davey, also, because I know that Maggie bears the burden of all your work in doing this prize and anthology. Thank you also, Kelly at Jacana Media, for all the work that you put into this. We have an incredible lineup of judges for the Gerald Kraak Prize. Occasionally, the judging panel changes. In South Africa, we have the incredible Mark Gefisser, who is here this evening. From Zimbabwe, we have the phenomenal Ella Wakakama, who unfortunately is not present this evening. And from Nigeria, we have Otto Sirieze, he's known as Otto Obiang, who has put so much work, so much talent, so much incredible effort into this award. Otto is our lead judge of the 3 judges. This year, we introduced two new things to the prize. One is that of all the entries that are received, a short list is selected, and we've put in place a panel of coaches, of 3 remarkable people who have been mentors to those who entered and who have worked with those who were shortlisted to refine their entries. I'm very proud that our mentors this year have been Sandile Ngidi, Sandile is with us today, Sean Deval, who is based in Johannesburg, an accomplished journalist and author, and Kosi Makosazana, we know her as Kosi Kaba, who is also based in Johannesburg. They've worked with at least 3 of the entrants this year, and Otto personally has worked with many others to refine their entries. For the first time this year as well, we've introduced a prize of $200 for all the shortlisted entrants, a prize of $500 for any runners-up of the prize, and a prize of $2,000 for the winning entry, as well as their work being published in the anthology. And now, I know that Clement said that I'm going to introduce Lebo, but I believe it is much more appropriate and deep and significant to invite both a very close friend of Gerald's, a former chairperson of the other foundation, and just a longtime comrade, colleague, friend, activist in arms, Phumi Mthethwa, to introduce Lebo.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you? How are you? I hear that the island was tough, but we are here now. Good evening. Good evening. Good. I am so happy to be at Kopano for the first time, but especially to have the mic. Okay, social distancing. On this occasion, you know, of celebrating the legacy of Gerald, whose really brainchild, the other foundation, was. Many of us, we worked with him, bought into the dream, and it's just beautiful to see that, you know, Gerald is being remembered in this way by also giving, because he was a man who was quite giving, one of the most generous people I know. But let me tell you about Gerald as a way also of introducing Isikoko Sami. Now, many of you are Facebook followers. Many of you see her making the pots. She is a fantastic actress. But not only is she a fantastic actress, that ribbon of rhythm, my sister, that ribbon of rhythm and everything else, she is a great poet. Now, I won't tell you what you will see on Facebook, on Wikipedia. Let me tell you about my sister, Ulebu Mashile. The things that we don't write and don't celebrate about sisters like Ulebu Mashile is that In this gathering, I want you to know, Uguti, not only is she a proud black feminist, but she is an internationalist. She is an internationalist who understands the problems of borders. She is a woman who actually, when no one was standing next to Umama Winnie, lifted us up to remember the legacy in the spirit of how black women are thought of or not thought of and celebrated. She is a woman who is not only a woman who cares about, being a mother, being a daughter, but cares about how the people who are on the margins are treated. The people living with HIV, sex workers, migrants and refugees, and guess what? Many of us in this room who identify as LGBTI people. Lebu Mashile is celebrated internationally, and I am proud to really introduce my sister to come forward. And as a writer, as a performer, as a creative, and most of all, as an activist like all of us, is Koko Sami, Lebu Mashile.
Reba Mashile ba segodi sa malekane. Mokibane wa Monesa Morale ngwana wa Lepula Nepula ha tshabe. Ke matšhabatladi serutha ka mosela ntheng ya thaba magale a serorobele re matšhilwane a šibe. A šila nakala mošidi ka mošo, a šila tlhogo tsa batho, rena ba maswi ka magamagae ke go maya tšhilwane. Friends, comrades, colleagues, it is my absolute honor and pleasure and delight and a gift to have been asked to give this year's keynote for the Gerald Kraak Prize. I promise, if you bear with me as I reflect on the incredible work that has been produced by the 12 writers who have been shortlisted this year, I promise that I will end with some poems. I'll give you a performance. But first, I think it's important that we talk about the work that has been produced. Audre Lorde writes in her masterful essay, The Erotic as Power, that there are many kinds of power, used and unused, acknowledged and otherwise. The erotic is a resource within each of us that lies in a deeply female and spiritual place, firmly rooted in the power of our unexpressed and unrecognized feelings. What we witnessed this year is a breathtaking, bold, and diverse vision of African queerness and sexuality that is powerfully, elegantly expressed in the works by these 12 authors who have been shortlisted for this year's prize. Through these works, we learn that the erotic is as elemental and as essential as water. The erotic is a tool of liberation that pulsates in every cultural form that I have witnessed that is produced by African people. It is the life force in our sacral chakra bursting dances, in the geometric patterns of our hair, in our polyrhythmic music. The erotic lives in the unmistakable flavors of our cuisine, in the rousing caresses of our hymns, and in the life-giving warmth of our bodies. There is a reason why, in the indigenous languages of this country, the same word for breath is the same word for spirit, is the same word for air, is the same word for soul, moya. The soul force is essential to the survival of all things, and the erotic is impossible without it. In contrast to this, our erotic expression has been placed in a chokehold by religion and by Western dogma, stuffing the erotic, which is infinite, into confining and contradictory boxes that leave no room for understanding how an African granny in a small town or village can be a husband in her household, and that their family will find a way to ensure that children are conceived in a union between two women, as they always have. These boxes are being broken every day before our eyes as the decolonization of African spirituality forces us to reckon with the fact that a traditional context for male gogos and female kehlas exists and is not new. The erotic is as political and as violent as sexual assault in the workplace. The erotic is as urgent and enduring as the incessant crisscrossing of borders by Africans in search of better lives. The erotic makes homes in our mother tongues for identities and sexualities that do not conform to the colonially imposed binaries that this continent is now addicted to. The erotic lives in truths spoken in hushed tones and lovers who are only known in secret. Sometimes this love must be forsaken for decades, even as it burns just beneath the skin. Other times this love can only be honored after death, like a grueling passage through the desert where every orifice swallows sand until the sand ultimately swallows you. When African lives endure such suffering, it calls to question the very notion of this place we call home. The erotic lives in the queer ancestors who have come before us, in the misfits who have been misinterpreted and erased. It lives in their tenderness, in their rebellion, in their refusal to care what others said or thought about them. It lives in the insults that they bore, that we turn to and wear as blankets of pride when we must face our own storms of backlash. All of the narratives that I've shared with you come from the 12 shortlisted works, each one depicting a multi-layered landscape of inner and outer resistance. I am particularly moved by the consistent theme of languishing and longing that is present in each of these works. What is the longing that we experience when we abandon the self for the small euphoria we feel when the promise of connection to another presents itself? What happens when we ache for connection to someone who has not fully connected to themselves? What is the fracturing that occurs in this kind of love? Who is the villain when misogyny and homophobia do not allow marginalized genders the freedom to fully self-actualize, because so many of us, whether as the oppressor or the oppressed, are forced to love as unhealed, abbreviated versions of ourselves? Through these shortlisted works, we learn that in the depths of suffering, love endures. A tender lifeline of humanity that survives even after the body has perished. We learn that at the height of power, abuse also persists. A corrupt political figure who takes sexual advantage of a widow in front of her child and sells the world an image of himself as a savior of refugees. The fragility of freedom for marginalized bodies that can be bartered and traded, manipulated, and killed anywhere on this continent. Our oppressors are not free either. No one knows the shape and size of the wounds of the oppressor better than the oppressed. The act of unleashing trauma onto others is a twisted and violent version of intimacy on its own. As we live through a world mutating through changes like a virus trying to stay alive, what are we being asked to let go of as we watch our understandings of governance, capitalism, patriarchy, and gender collapse before our very eyes? We are living through a series of interconnected, simultaneous revolutions. It took the Industrial Revolution 250 years to play itself out. This season of transition will endure for the rest of our lifetimes. And we will continue to work through these changes, through those who will look to guidance for us one day as ancestors. If there is a future, through which our eyes will see the world that is possible. It exists in art. It exists in music, dance, poetry, and fiction. It exists in the expressions of love and sexuality in the body. This is what makes art and artists dangerous. This is why the world turned to creative industries for sustenance when the world went into lockdown, while the same creatives wondered how we would survive. The business of being a visionary is radical work. The sexy truth-telling that will create a map for the new world is alive in this room, in your activism, and in the minds of the writers who we honor here tonight. Thank you. For Elaine, who specifically asked for this poem. It means a lot to perform this poem in this place, actually, because it was written for a piece that I wrote about Sarki Bartman, another ancestor who has been, misrepresented, erased, maligned, who deserves a rebirth and resuscitation of her own, you know? I've got lips on my knees, eyes on my back, cannons on my bum, poised for attack. The roar of my thighs plagues the minds of many men. I'm a living fantasy. I leave them for dead. I once loved a man who was very, very small. I put him in my heart where I could keep him warm. He loved the lights. He loved my voice. He loved the drama of the stage. But when I took him home, the love was not the same. He got lost in my roles. He got high on my ass. He tried to swim in my belly, but he did not have a plan for who I really am when no crowds are around. He got lost in my meat. He drowned in a song, weighed down by a commotion, weighed down by a connection we both carried for too long. When I tried to take it off, there was too much for him to bear. The heaviness of the woman left when no audience is there. He got lost in my arms. He got buried in my breast. He suffocated in the oceans I carry in my chest. He got lost in our home. He crawled out into the streets. He got lost between the bones of women skinnier than me. How many years did I try to hold him in the folds of my flesh? How many years of searching until my sanity left? It takes guts. It takes tears. It takes a fuck shit mentality to know that I am worthy when every eye screams freak. I sing because there's a war being fought over my body. My small lover says, usindwa ngamasende la endlini.
And the wonderful thing also is that the narratives that Auslebo is sharing are coming from the shortlisted works, which you must really check out, because I was going through them last night myself. And we're going to play a video shortly of some of the finalists. We have 12 finalists. 12 finalists that have submitted their work from over 200. So these are 200 submissions from over 20 African countries. And this is where I would like to give it up to the other foundation and Jakana Literary, because coordinating this is quite a mission. So please, let's give it up for the other foundation and Jakana Media. Because what I've done is amazing, right? It's amazing because the recognition of these artists is important. The recognition of the incredible work is important. The recognition of this work and publishing it is just amazing. And it's amazing because it also honors an incredible man, Gerald Kraak, and continues his legacy. And the Gerald Kraak Prize is actually the only one that covers all forms of writing and printable art on the continent, which is dope, right? Can you say dope? Also, we are a relatively young crowd, so I imagine we know what dope is. Well, it means cool to the elderly. It's dope, and we are talking here about brave, stirring, multi-layered pieces that represent modern, provocative African storytelling on gender, social justice, and sexuality. So thank you, the other foundation, and Jakana Literary. So we are going to play a clip now. Yes, we can do that again. We're going to play a clip now of some of the shortlisted finalists. Before we get to the winner, we will bring in people who will announce those that are shortlisted, because their work will be in the anthology, which is amazing, and they win a prize. Like Neville announced that for the first time, they will walk away with something. So let's fix our eyes on the screens and watch video of some of the people that have been shortlisted.
It is an honor to be included in this year's Gerald Kraak anthology alongside.
It's incredible, the platform that this opportunity has created for queer Africans, as you hear from these artists, these writers, to tell the stories that have been silenced and the stories that are sadly still being silenced. But remember what Auslebu said, it's the spirit of your activism that is alive in the writers that we're honoring today. So let's give it up for those that have been shortlisted once again. I promise, guys, we're getting there. I know it's difficult, but I really appreciate a lot of you that are listening attentively and engaging in the work that we're doing today. The guys on the left, please, can we, a few more minutes, I promise we'll be done. We'll be done. We are going to play a video of the judges and the mentors now, but before we do, I just want to remind you to respect COVID protocols. So if you're able to, can you just put on your mask? Please, we beg. If possible, please put on your mask. We still need to observe COVID-19 protocols. And then let's watch another video by the judges and the mentors. And after that, we're going to announce those that have been shortlisted and the winners. Okay, almost there, I promise, almost there, almost there. So, as you have heard throughout, we have had writers here that have expressed themselves with freedom, with boldness, and one of them is going to walk away with the big prize. So it's now time to announce the runner-up and the winner of the 4th Gerald Kraak Prize. Are you ready for that? Yeah. Lovely. So, let's bring in now Mark Gavasa, who is a South African author and journalist, and Sandy Lenkiti, who is an arts activist and a Zulu English literary translator, to come and make the announcement. Let's find out who the winner is.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being so patient. Hello. Hi. It's really, really special to be doing this as a judge of this prize at the Kopano. And the energy of this Kopano is very, very loud in this room, very strong in this room. And I keep on thinking about the words of this Kopano. which are rollback, resilience, reinvention, right? And against that rollback that we all experience in our lives is resilience and reinvention. And as I think Sister Lebo showed so well, it is art and creativity. Thank you, Sister Lebo, for that. That is the way we roll back against the rollback, with resilience and with reinvention. And these stories do that. But let's admit as well that if there's resilience, there is also fragility. We are fragile. We are fragile beings, which is why we need to learn resilience. And one of the things that these artworks do that we are celebrating today is that they show our fragility. These very, very talented writers, these poets, these fiction writers, are willing to show their fragility. And I hope when this book is launched, the beautiful ones are yet to be born, you will read and see this for yourselves. You can also read all the pieces on the other foundation's website. So with my brothers Sandile and Gide, we are going to announce, I'll just tell you a little bit about the process. There are 12 shortlisted entries, 12, that will be in the book. We judges have chosen 5 semi-finalists. And out of those 5 semi-finalists, we have chosen a runner-up and a winner. So Sandile and I are now going to announce the 5 semi-finalists. The first semi-finalist is Halim Olaposi from Nigeria. His story is a moving evocation of a man and a woman discovering their shared love for a man who died trying to escape to Europe as an economic migrant. The depiction of the hell of trans-Sahara migrancy is robust, and the engagement between the two characters subtle and complex, revealing the limits of what they know about the man they love. It is a tale of reconnection via grief. So for Halim,
hello, Kopano, hello! Viva Kopano, viva! Thank you very much. Without further ado, the other finalist here is Ukamaka Olisakwe from Nigeria. Olisakwe's poetry and fiction centers women's bodies with power and mischief. Slut confronts traditional patriarchy in Igbo land, detailing a woman's psychological development and sexual awakening, and exhuming her into the freedom of desire. Another entry from Ukamaka, The Grasscutter's Curse, depicts both the physical and the familial context of childbirth and a family drama that unfolds, and it reveals in the way women treat their daughters-in-law in patriarchal systems. Thank you.
Our next semi-finalist is also from Nigeria. An amazing hothouse of creativity on our continent. And that is Roy Ude Ubaka. I understand Roy is with us tonight, is that right? Welcome, Roy, to South Africa. So Roy has written brave fiction that expands the possibilities of the short story form, both in the use of voice and the way it compresses time to illuminate the truth of so many queer people. And this is a really important thing about Roy's story. It's about the way in Africa we queer people often have to marry within straight society. And Roy deals with this brilliantly. Thank you, Roy, and congratulations on being a semi-finalist.
Let's give it up for Roy. Thank you very much. We've got another Nigerian in the house, Shizom Okafor. Thank you very much. In 3 ambitious, well-crafted poems, Okafor depicts moments in gay life with assuredness, providing passion, empathy, a beautiful reflection on grief and love, and a tale of a boy rediscovering himself, refreshing his sense of life. Chisom Akafo. Thank you very much.
And our final semi-finalist is somebody from our part of the world, and I believe he's in the house as well tonight. So let's give it up for Moso Sematlane. And Moso is from Lesotho. We might have the giant that roars in Nigeria, but we have the powerful mouse that roars in Lesotho as well. Moso has written an amazing story that captures the loneliness and the bravery of a queer black kid in a provincial, largely white South African setting. It's a story that is about the intersection of race and sexuality. There is such gentleness to his storytelling, showing a sense of place and forbidden longing at several levels of youth. Let's hear it from Moso. And it's really beautiful to see Roy and Moso standing here with us. Congratulations, both of you, for making it onto the shortlist. Now, Sandile, we get to announce the runner-up and the winner. Do you want to go first with the runner-up?
Which one?
Do you want me to announce them?
Yeah. Just, yeah.
So I'm going to announce first I should say that all of the semi-finalists get a prize of $200. The runner-up gets a prize of $500. And this runner-up, I'm really happy to announce, is the Nigerian author Ukamaka Olisakwe. So Ukamaka's not able to be with us tonight, but I urge you all to go onto the website of the other foundation and read her poem Slut, which is exactly as Sislebo said, reclaiming the erotic, and her very powerful story, The Grasscutter's Curse, about pregnancy and childbirth. Let's give it up for Ukamaka. And now I'm going to call on the latest trustee of the other foundation, Katlego Kolanyane Kesupile. Katlego, will you come up, please? It's Katlego's job to give the prize to the winner.
May I?
Katlego, where is the prize? Do we, aha.
We're going to do this.
So the winner of the 2022 Gerald Kraak Prize is Roy Ude Ubaka.
Hi. Okay, so this is so unexpected. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. The Gerald Kraak Award has been.
Let's show some respect to our winner.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this. Like, I want to thank all the judges, Mark, Ella, Utosireze. This has been incredible, so unexpected, and I'm so glad I made this trip to be here. So, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Please go to the other foundation website so you can see some of this work. It's brilliant until it doesn't. That's what Roy wrote. It's an incredible fiction. It's an incredible story. And I think you're going to enjoy it. All right, we're almost done, everyone. We're almost done. I want to bring in now people that are going to give us the closing address. Can we please have Shapiro, Samuel Shapiro, Research Officer at the Other Foundation, and Bridget Impey, who is a Publishing Director at Jacana Media, to give us a vote of thanks.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. It's going to be super short, I promise.
Hello.
So I just want to announce that next year's anthology submissions are open. So enter and you could win. And I also want the privilege and the honor of introducing Bridget, who has led this entire thing with grace and amazing skills. Bridget.
And what I wanted to say to you, shh, shh, shh. I've been watching all of you, and I've been watching the stories inside of you. Shh. Because what we want is your stories. Every one of you here, I've been looking around this room, and I've been seeing that each one of you has a story. Let's have them. The awards are open. Send in your entries. And I'm serious. Shh. Pay attention now, because we want to hear you. Every one of you here tonight, we want a flood of entries coming in, and I'm expecting it. Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, and congratulations to the winners, and thank you to the judges, and thank you, everybody. Woo!
I think I should use that trick because it probably worked. Shh. Oh yeah, it works. Shh. Okay. Remember, guys, the spirit of your activism is alive in the artists, the writers that we are honoring today. So please go check out the work that they've produced on the Other Foundation website, because the writers have expressed themselves with so much freedom and so much boldness. Are you ready for Wanda Baloyi? I am ready for Wanda Baloyi. We're going to have Wanda now, and we've been trying to get as much food as possible to everyone. So please, let's enjoy the music. Let's continue the conversations, and let's eat. Wanda, over to you.
Hello. How are you? Lago Choni Langa. Come on now. Zago boy como Daku Tinga Gawe Lago Choni Langa Peshe Yango Luande Zago boy como Daku Tinga Gawe Oh my babe Lago Choni
The process of judging these stories, I've done it for 3 years now, it always opens my eyes and my heart in ways that are totally unexpected. Because of the extraordinary way that all the applicants, even those who don't make it, find unique African ways of writing about, in their poems or in their stories, of writing about what it means to be a contemporary African today, whether it's from a queer perspective or a woman's perspective, because, or even a heterosexual male perspective, but that's looking critically at how sexuality and gender play in our society today. And what I find amazing about it is that over the course of these 3 years, not just that we're seeing more confidence in the writing, but also a more willingness to show complexity and fragility too, which is a sign of really how the movement is growing, that people feel they're able to claim that space. Over the course of the 3 years that I've judged this, I would say I've seen entries from probably 20 countries. The lion's share of the entries are from Nigeria and South Africa. And I think that's because of the size of Nigeria and South Africa, because those countries have got literary cultures, and also because of, in those two countries, the queer movement as well. In South Africa, the queer movement kind of above ground. In Nigeria, the queer movement very much underground because of anti-homosexuality legislation. I would really like to see more diversity of voices. I think every single one of our Nigerian finalists deserves to be there. They are all brilliant stories. I'm not complaining about the Nigerians, more power to them. But I would love to see stories from other parts of the continent too. It's very exciting to me that this year we have a really fantastic story called The Boys Whose Hearts Are Sepulchres by Moso Semetlani, who's from Lesotho. So how amazing that in our five semi-finalists, we've got 4 from the giant lion of Nigeria, and then we've got 1 from Lesotho, this tiny country that's so often forgotten. And there are writers like Moso in eSwatini, in Botswana, in Rwanda, in Malawi. Let's hear them.
This is just amazing. I'm so completely overwhelmed. I have always been a storyteller. I mean, I've always strongly believed in the power of storytelling. in the power of storytelling to humanize and actually deconstruct a lot of homophobia and gender and social injustice in the world. And I believe that through storytelling we can begin to humanize and connect to people around us. And winning this award and having my story out there and like for everyone to read is just so impossibly amazing. And I cannot even, I'm not sure how to react, but I'm just completely grateful. Thank you to the Gerald Kraak Award. Thank you to the other foundation, and thank you to the judges, Mark, Ella, Otosireze. You guys are just amazing, and thank you for this. I deeply appreciate it. Telling queer stories has always been important because when we tell queer stories, we connect, we use that to connect to people, straight, non-binary, all these people, like we connect to them through storytelling. And I feel like, again, it boils back to that construction of humanization. When you humanize with someone, you're able to connect with them. And by doing that, we breed love. And I feel like it's very important to have queer stories, because to have queer stories means telling queer identities and showing how important queerness is to the world and to everyone. Thank you very much.
It's been wonderful for me to be part of this competition, essentially as a mentor. A mentor in this case working with a poet, a wonderful poet from South Africa, to try and see how best her work could, stand a chance to win this wonderful competition. But of course, as a mentor, I'm also learning from somebody I'm supposed to mentor, because poets speak to us, they meditate with us, they meditate for us, they help us rediscover our lost selves. So poets need us. We need poets in order to be sane about the world that is increasingly cruel, very violent to women and children, very violent to people who are queer. And the Gerald Kraak competition raises the awareness on the continent of Africa in particular, that we must respect one another, we must respect human rights, but in particular as they pertain to the queer community. And I was honored to be part of this wonderful competition. And I encourage other young aspirant writers, age is not really a factor here, but those who identify with the cause of human rights, the cause of fighting structural injustices all over the world, but in Africa in particular. And this is a competition for them. It's an opportunity to say something and be heard, because artists, poets must be heard, because they can speak back to violence, shout back at violence, and all the misogyny that breaks us every day. Well, I think Africans who are queer deserve all the chances, all the opportunities that can be made available for them to speak for themselves. Nobody should be speaking for them. They can speak for themselves. And I would encourage people who want to contribute by expanding the sphere of influence of the African queer community through the arts, in particular poetry, because it is a wonderful opportunity for them to express themselves. And some of us stand in solidarity with the queer community, because any violation of human rights are violations that should make us stand out in rage, stand up in rage and condemn such. But this competition is essentially about re-energizing that creative community to express itself, and why not?